Hi, this is RGOnax, and we talk about things that don't matter. So the Stop Killing Games movement is having a second wind right now, primarily because Accursed Farms, the guy behind this movement, made a video about it, which renewed its interest in the wider gaming space. But to most people, that has kind of been eclipsed by the bigger drama surrounding all of this, the absolute decimation of Pirate Software and his reputation. And if I'm being completely honest, I'm all for it, man. Listen, man, I like games, their preservation, and pro-consumer laws and practices. What I don't like is Pirate Software. I never did, even in his so-called relative prime. The guy's got a massive ego, he's a huge narcissist, he's got a fake-ass deep voice. All of those things, that's my job. Back in his prime when he was popping off on YouTube Shorts, everybody liked him because he was this intellectual game developer sharing his experience and knowledge on that field. Many people attribute their interest in game development to Pirate Software, and that's a good thing. I won't take that away from him. But what I will say is that for someone who is apparently all about games and their development and their preservation and such, the fact that he opposed the Stop Killing Games movement is baffling to me. And when he made his video about it 10 months ago, it pretty much killed this movement in its infancy, or at the very least did massive damage to it.
You know how when you buy something, you're generally allowed to keep it?
In the case of live service games, in the terms of service for those, you are not buying the game. You're buying a license to the game. And that's the part that's really different here. If we don't like the idea of live service games as a whole, I get it. Don't play live service games then. Don't agree to those terms. But if we're under this weird idea that we need to get rid of all live service games or damage that practice in any way to keep in line with consumer policies, it is in line with consumer policies. If it wasn't, it wouldn't be there in the first place.
It's a good thing that Ross, or Accursed Farms, the guy in charge of this entire initiative, made the video that he did a few days ago, because if he didn't, then this initiative really would have died. Not with a bang, but with a whimper. But making that video was a good call. As far as I can see, the number of petition signings has skyrocketed. But if nothing else, it's also going to be the catalyst for Pirate Software's very much deserved downfall. Now, I won't get into all the reasons why people are dogging on Pirate Software. There's a lot of reasons why he is, from misrepresenting the initiative to mocking and insulting Ross for his passion for video games.
Great, let's do it. So this was my first encounter of it.
Oh shit, no, this is actually really dumb. It's used car salesman garbage. This is shit. It's shit. Not only do I not want to back this, I'm going to actively tell people not to. That is awful. That is a horrible goddamn direction. That's awful, dude. No, eat my entire ass. The level of stupid that I just had to receive was like sitting on Twitter for 12 hours. This shit sucks. That's a really stupid ass move. That's an incredibly stupid ass move. I think this is ass. This is complete garbage. All of this can eat shit then. I drop the mask entirely. I have no qualms about that. They can eat my entire ass. The whole thing. That sounds stupid as shit.
Oh yeah, I can see why people like him. It's like listening to Mr. Rogers. As you can imagine, we've been less than thrilled that Thor here has become the dominant voice of the campaign.
His conduct and overall personality. He is a very smug, very narcissistic, very egotistical person, and it is not pleasant. He is a very unpleasant individual. And for those who don't know, he is a game developer, although that's debatable because the game that he's trying to make hasn't come out yet, and it's been like, what, 8 years, and it's still not out? So him calling himself a game developer is like me calling myself a massive YouTuber, you know? We'll get there one day, but not today. The one thing that I really want to focus on was when he was talking about why the movement was a bad idea, the initiative was bad. Because he says that the moment that you agree to the end user license agreement, you know, like the little terms of service and agreements that you always do whenever you sign up for something, specifically in Blizzard games, in their terms of service, apparently it says that Blizzard maintains the right to take away your digital games at any point for no reason. And he says that you, as a consumer, are not allowed to complain when you agreed to these terms yourself. And this just pissed me off.
Let's talk about the actual bad business practices. In the case that a studio is making a live service game, and they sell it to you as a product, they say that you are purchasing the game, or you are buying the game, when in reality you're actually purchasing or buying a license to that game. I think that we should be fighting about that. The initiative is not trying to call that out specifically. It's trying to say that all games need to stay in a functional, playable state.
Yes!
Which is not calling out the language that is being used to manipulate the player. Call that out specifically.
Okay, I don't know if he's doing this intentionally. I'll be charitable and assume he's not. But this is some serious obfuscation. He's complaining that the initiative isn't focused on another topic he made up. I mean, what is that logic? I am not aware of a game on the planet with a license agreement that says you are not buying a license. Our problem is not with licenses failing to inform people. Blizzard says they can take away your purchase for no reason. That sounds pretty clear to me. Our problem is those terms are so hostile to consumers and the medium that they should be taken off the table entirely. This needs regulation. Forget video games. If you look at basic commerce for hundreds of years, when you paid money, you either got to keep what you paid for, or if it was a service, you were told when your access ends. The vast majority of online-only games do neither of those. The games industry is trying to upend basic commerce. I think you have to go back to feudalism before neither of those things are true. Why even have consumer laws if you have no rights?
Look at how long all of this legal jargon is. It's criminal that Blizzard was allowed to do this in the first place, or any company for that matter. The fact that they can take away your games for no reason, that's ridiculous. That's pretty much the entire purpose of this initiative. The fact that there is a distinction to be made between licensing a game and buying it. When you go into GameStop and you ask the employee, hey man, can I buy a license to NBA 2025? That doesn't happen. People buy things. And sure, games as a service still exist, but you still pay money for it, and even if you didn't, even if it's a free-to-play game, people want the ability to preserve their games. And the fact that Pirate Software said that by you checking this little box saying, I agree to these terms, does anyone read these? Because unless you're a lawyer, no one has ever read these things. This is a ridiculous argument and deflection to use. I remember seeing like some sort of political art piece a while ago showcasing how unbelievably long these terms of service contracts have become. They are so incredibly long and filled with legal jargon that it makes it actually impossible to read any of this. All that words, these are just shields that corporations use to get away with all sorts of bullshit, like taking away the games that you own. And for Pirate Software to say this in particular just pissed me off so much. How can a wannabe game developer who got all of his funding money from fellow passionate gamers be so anti-consumer?
If you try to tell me that every studio needs to run their live service game indefinitely or not want to run one at all, then no one's going to run them.
Oh no! He wheeled out that line about publishers having to support the game forever. He was literally watching the video earlier where it says it won't do that in big letters. That wasn't enough. We just can't stop gamers from going there, even when we spell it out. I admit, guys, this part hurts. To see the biggest voice on this issue get it wrong again and again and again, then put that same wrong information on blast to a far bigger audience than we can reach. It hurts.
I'm sorry if this video is going to be completely messy, but it just pissed me off. This guy is a real piece of work. Holy shit. So I'll just end this video by saying this. He made a post addressing all of this drama that's been unfolding over the past couple of days. And at the very end, it says there that despite all of this that has happened, he still supports the initiative and is on the side of the gamers. Is he though? I don't think you are, man. All your actions and statement point to the contrary. Now, a lot of people were asking why he was against the movement in the first place, and a lot of theories popped up. Apparently, some people say because he was working with rivals of Aether 2, and he had connections with that game, he thought that this movement, if it went through, would result in him having more work to do. Another theory is that if the initiative also was successful, it would mean that his crowdfunded game, Heartbound, he would have more work to do, which doesn't help because apparently the work being done on that game is being done at a glacial pace. Another thing is that people think he's only doing this to buddy up with his former game developer friends. He did work at Blizzard, a fact that he loves to tell people. This guy cannot help himself but constantly bring up the fact that he used to work at Blizzard.
My name is Jason Thor Hall, also known as Pirate Software Online. I've been in the gaming industry for about 20 years. I used to work at Blizzard Entertainment, then Amazon Game Studios, and now I own my own studio, Pirate Software, by the same name, which is an indie studio.
And people are saying that by him being against the Stop Killing Games movement, it's him kind of cozying up to his former Blizzard buddies. That's also a possibility. But I think his reason is rather simple. He made a statement in a video about Stop Killing Games. He made a mistake. He got it wrong. And rather than admit that he was wrong, he doubled down.
So for those who don't understand, the Stop Killing Games initiatives is basically we don't want single-player games to have DRM that the developers can turn off and thus render the single-player games inactive anymore. This is what they want to change. They need to be specific that they're talking about single-player games that do not need a server to support them.
No.
And as much as they want it to be about specifically games where it is a single-player game that has always online functionality, it would impact every live service game that exists, instead of just targeting single-player, always online games.
No, that's not what it is. Stop Killing Games includes single-player games, but nothing about it is specific to them. He completely made that up, and I have no idea where he got that impression.
You see, this has always been the main problem with Pirate Software. It's never been about his takes, not really. I mean, people can disagree with things, that's fine. But it's always been about his attitude. And this guy has been in drama so much over the last year and a half. And everything, from the Warcraft stuff to the cheating allegations, and all of that bullshit that he did in Second Life almost 2 decades ago, there is one common complaint. It's his attitude. He always has to be the smartest in the room. He can never be wrong, or ever admit that he is wrong.
Let me say it again.
He already said his piece.
Pirate.
Go on.
Oh,
Yeah,
dear God.
I want to speak to him because I didn't speak to him correctly. I said it again. We all did mistakes, bro. Like I didn't say, we are just blaming you. It's about the zero accountability is what makes us so mad.
There's no zero accountability, dude. Everyone can do something better.
you-
But when you open up and
No,
you yell
you-
over another
no,
person
listen,
like
can
you were
I
doing earlier,
speak?
Nah, I'm good.
You
See ya. I'm not doing that shit again with him. Nah, he did it the first time. I'm not doing it a second one.
Or, even if he is wrong and he will apologize, whenever he does apologize, it's never really sincere. If he makes a statement trying to apologize, it'll be the first thing at the top saying that he's sorry. But then the rest of the post, it's gonna be like an essay saying that like, well, I'm sorry, you see, because blah blah, this guy did that and that guy did that. So in reality, whenever he apologizes, it's actually just him pointing fingers or absolving himself of any further blame. He had a really long session with Dr. K, a YouTube psychologist, about his behavior. And it's a rather long video, so I'll sum it up for you real quick. My bad. That's it. If he learned to say these 2 words, my bad, he would have spared himself from this drama a long time ago. Because anytime that he apologizes, or at least tries to apologize, he constantly needs to explain himself. Because apparently a 2-word apology is too much. Saying things like, I'm sorry, my bad, or I'm wrong. He calls it anti-logic or anti-intellectualism because he physically feels the need to explain in great detail why either it's not his fault, or if it is his fault, why it's not really that bad. Like, the guy cannot help himself. He can't just admit that he fucked up, or at least gain any real accountability.
I've noticed that you tend to be complete with your answers. So when I look at that
try.
X thread, right, you try really hard and you do a great job. You're like, here's what happened, here's what happened, here's what happened, here's what happened, here's what happened. Have you ever tried to be incomplete?
If I try to be incomplete with it,
Incomplete with the whole story and just focus on the smugness.
what does that mean?
Let me show
Like
you.
not give any context whatsoever?
Yeah. Let's say yes to that. I think that's a bit of hyperbole, but
Just an emotional response?
no, just say, hey guys. So basically, you know, when you tell the narrative, you start with like, I made a mistake, everyone made mistakes, I was smug. And then there's a lot that comes after that. How would you feel about just ending it after that first paragraph?
I hate that.
Okay.
I have like an immediate, emotionally angry response against that.
Very good.
Because it feels like idiocracy.
Okay.
It feels like, that's too long, didn't read, I don't need all those words when few words do gooder. I hate that shit. Like, I super hate that kind of communication of like, there's a lot of people who just say like, oh, you should just say, my bad, guys. No, that does not in any way explain a situation. That doesn't tell you any information that is real. It is hand-waving for the masses in a way that is disingenuous to what happened and disingenuous to the people that are involved. I feel like to do that would be just me lying for the sake of lying so that people would fuck off. I really hate that.
In summary, sure, Pirate Software states that he supports the initiative. He might even be genuine when he says that. But if he was presented with two choices, that being supporting Stop Killing Games, however, you have to apologize and admit that he was wrong, or doubling down on his stance, I think we all know which decision he'll end up picking. Sorry if this video was very minimally edited because passions are hot. I just came from work, 12-hour shift, and I just really wanted to get this out of my system because I've been on a rabbit hole with this guy for 2 months, even before all of this drama happened. And I hated him then, and I hate him even more now. And I just feel so vindicated that other people are seeing him for the shithead that he is. That's gonna be it for me, Internet Wanderer. What do you think? Do you support Stop Killing Games? I hope you do. And do you like Pirate Software? I hope you don't. Thanks for watching. Do the YouTube things.